What's going on here is a protest for the city taking out the benches to get rid of the homeless people. Can you imagine that? Just think about that for a second.
Yeah, you should be able to get
To combat homelessness, let's take all the benches out of the park.
You should be able to get on it.
What's wrong with that picture? Then nobody else can sit there too.
This is public land. This is a public park, and people should be able to enjoy it. And that means everybody, all of Sarasota citizens, should be able to enjoy this park since it's a public park. So, until somebody can show me where that condo building purchased this land, we need to just keep coming out here and keep fighting.
Oh, I live in the city and have for 20 years, and we just redid this park so that we could enjoy it, and then they're going to, and it's the solution, like taking out all the benches, is like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. It's the wrong solution.
It's just a shame that, you know, my sick mother that, you know, that can't walk very far is walking up and down Main Street and has nowhere to sit down, you know, and then you have all the elderly and just the simple folks that want to come out and sit down and enjoy the downtown. It's really a crime.
I think it's a bad idea, obviously. I brought my own chair. I support seating, big fan of sitting, but also people's rights and the community as a whole.
Well, we just walked by and saw a sign that said no sitting with a lot of group of people sitting, so we came over to see what's the sit about.
Taking out the benches is all well and good, but we shouldn't pretend it's about anything other than pretending that the problem doesn't exist.
Everybody has a right to sit down in the park, and we can't just pretend that, you know, by removing the benches, the quote homeless are going to go away. It's, you know, there but for the grace of God go I. You know, I could be homeless too.
I think it's a joke. I mean, what are you going to push it down the street a little bit further and it's going to go away? You know, I just don't think it's right. I think there's a lot of people that feel that way. They might not live up in them towers up there, but a lot of them that live down on this level of Earth believe this is a total joke. You can't even read a book in a park unless you want to. It's ridiculous. It's an empty lot. It ain't a park if you take away the park benches.
It really bothers me that wealthy, affluent people can influence whether or not I can come sit down in a public park.
It's a public park, and it's for the public and all of the public.
Public parks are for the public, and that should not be undermined.
But apparently, anytime homeless people gather here, or even like one of them said, if she were to put a blanket down here, she would be arrested or told to get in the car as soon as the blanket went down on the ground. So I just think it's a shame. It's wrong, and that's why all of us are here.
People ain't got a place to sleep. People ain't got nowhere to go, nowhere to sit. And you know, it's just the way they come up in life. And you can't change that sense in the way people feel. You know, it's got to be understanding.
A lot of people, when they see a homeless person, they just see a homeless person. They don't see the story behind why they're homeless. I mean, yeah, a lot of them probably do have drug addictions. A lot of them probably do have a problem with alcoholism. But not all of them are homeless because of that. I mean, there are people who lost jobs, who their whole family died, or things like that, or something unfortunate happened to them, and a lot of them just simply can't help it. And in this city, their way of dealing with the problem, it's not proactive at all. Their way of dealing with it is to shove the problem aside and pretend like it's not there until someone has a problem with it once again.
A lot of these folks, whether they lost their job, or if they have alcohol problems or other mental issues, they're not getting the help they need. It's too hard to get the help.
They're looked upon as a completely different quality of person than we are, which they're obviously not. They just came out under different situations. We just need to try to help people up out of these situations instead of trying to keep them down and separate us further from our own selves.
It obviously has a lot to do with politics in the community, and it's about time that the politics in Sarasota change, become a little more proactive for the citizens of the community, and in an effort to support all that call Sarasota home.
You cannot legislate away homelessness. You cannot shove it under the cover because this is supposed to be the pretty art city and make it just go away. Just by pulling up the park benches doesn't make homelessness go away.
Plus, if there's a homeless problem, we need to address that as a homeless problem, not as not as seating in a park. That's not a solution. You know, maybe there's other avenues to go down, but that's just ridiculous.
It's meanness on the part of the city commission, or just a misunderstanding of what a park should be, and a park should have benches.
The solution is to help these people out, not beat them down further and further. They need help just like anybody else needs help.
I definitely think we need our park benches, and we need to practice kindness and be respectful to everyone who wants to use the park.
I'm kind of scratching my head over it. I'm wondering what the logic is, but I wonder what I'm anxious to hear what their arguments are about taking the benches out. I'd like to point the camera on them and say and find out if they have any really good reason for doing it. From what I've seen and heard, it seems like a mistake to me.